These refs, man. What can you even say? I am not sure if I have ever seen a clear second yellow card in my life. It is an absolute utter joke. Stuart Atwell, he can add his name to the list of absolute and utter frauds that work in English football. I mean, look, let's be real. Liverpool weren't good tonight. I was expecting a better Liverpool performance than what materialised tonight. I was happy enough with the team. Obviously, look, Spurs are missing a few players. They haven't been on good form. I was expecting a win, and I was expecting a much better performance. But I do think Liverpool were the better team for the majority of that game. We played the better football. We had more possession. We had more of the chances. We were certainly looking for, a lot of parts of that game, like the team, if any, would break the deadlock. Spurs, I thought, defended well. I will admit they were a lot better organised, a lot more structured than what they were a couple of weeks ago when we played them at Spurs in the Premier League. But a draw, I think, would have been a fair result. And I think that's what the players were pretty happy with come 20, 30 minutes left in that game. And that would have been fine. But I'll be real. I'm chill. Were we good today? No. Did we deserve to lose today? Absolutely not. As I said, we were the better team. We lost because, yet again, an absolute fraudulent ref, an absolute fraudulent decision once again by these English referees. But there's a second leg. It's at Anfield. One goal is absolutely nothing, especially up against Spurs. And look, the Carabao Cup is not the be-all and end-all this season. It's Premier League, it's Champions League. It always is. But since we're in the semi-finals, we might as well go and try and win it. And I expect us to be a lot better at Anfield. And I do expect us to turn this around. Let's get into today's Liverpool player ratings. First up, Alisson Becker. Neither keeper had loads to do today, but Alisson Becker definitely had less. Made a good save from Dragusin early on in the game. Made another decent save later on. Had to come and collect some crosses. Was under threat at certain stages of the game where the ball was given away poorly by the defence. Second half, obviously made a mistake of his own that was lucky, thanks to Van Dijk, that it wasn't capitalised on. But he did nothing wrong. I mean, obviously could do nothing for that goal. It was a good finish by Bergvall, despite the fact that he should definitely not have been on the pitch. But Alisson was okay. He did his job largely, apart from that one mistake. Didn't really do anything wrong, apart from that. 6. Conor Bradley, who came in for Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, today, I thought was decent. Certainly had a shaky start. First 15-20 minutes, gave the ball away a couple of times. Obviously, he was up against Youngmin Son and Spence, who both really didn't do all that much in the game, especially Son. As the game went on, I thought he was good. He looked a bit more tired second half, which is normal, obviously not being that long back from injury. But apart from his start to the game, I thought he was decent. He will get better and better, and he will, I imagine, show his best over the next few weeks when he is 100% fully fit. I'm going to say 6.5. Jarrell Kwanzaa obviously went off early because of the injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious. It looked like a knock. It didn't look like something bad, so hopefully it isn't, but really poor. And I think his confidence is just shot. I think it has been since that United game last season. He's just not the same player, and it's really sad to see because I'm a big fan of this guy. I think when he first came on the scene for Liverpool and he played a lot of those games, obviously Klopp took him under his wing and gave him his chance. I was really, really impressed. I thought even he had attributes that Van Dijk and Konate possess, but since that game last season, he hasn't looked the same. He looks nervy when he plays. He doesn't look confident whatsoever, and tonight for the time he played, really, really poor. I'm going to have to say 3. Virgil van Dijk, potentially the best player on the pitch for us tonight. Absolutely superb. I feel like he won every single aerial duel tonight. I mean, there was a lot of crosses put into the box from Spurs, and Van Dijk was just a colossus, as he always is. Had a couple of nice passes too, to the forwards, which really were not made much out of, but Van Dijk was really good. Obviously made that fantastic block as well from, by virtue of Alisson's mistake in the second half. A goal-saving block as well. Look, Virgil van Dijk was excellent tonight. He did not deserve to be on the losing team. I mean, we shouldn't have been on the losing team, but especially Virgil van Dijk. I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. Tsimikas, his first start since coming back from injury, and I thought he was okay. Up and down the pitch, I thought he was okay. Defensively, a couple of sticky moments, but nothing really to write home about, nothing too pressing. Going forward, had some good runs. On a few occasions, wasn't found. Poor passes, which obviously is not his fault. Had a couple of decent deliveries into the box. He had a good delivery into the middle to McAllister, who didn't make the most out of that chance for sure. Second half, taken out by Bergvall, and subsequently got treatment. But I thought he was solid enough. For me, he didn't do a lot wrong. 6. Onto the midfield, Ryan Gravenberch. Again, I thought he was pretty solid. It wasn't him or a lot of these players at fault for why Liverpool weren't good tonight. First half, a couple of occasions he gave the ball away a couple of times. I think he could have been stronger in the tackle, and it's not what we're used to seeing, especially this season of Gravenberch. But I thought he was good second half. He was a lot more involved in the play. Won the ball back on a few occasions for Liverpool. I'm going to say 7. Alexis McAllister. I don't think any of our midfielders were excellent tonight, but again, I don't think McAllister was bad. Obviously, as I mentioned previous, had that kind of half chance with the header from Simicas's set piece in the first half. I thought his passing was quite good, especially second half. He was creative. He got a little bit more advanced up the pitch. I think he was certainly one of our liveliest players. Like Gravenberch, he had his best moments, I would say, in the second half, but an overall solid enough performance. I don't think midfield was the massive problem tonight. 7. Curtis Jones, it has to be said again, poor. Really, really poor. I mean, just didn't affect that game at all tonight. The exact same against Manchester United at the weekend, and he can be an up and down player. When he's good, he's really good. When he's bad, he's really bad. And the last couple of games, like, he's just been no asset to Liverpool whatsoever. He needs a couple of good games again under his belt, because he doesn't want to get stuck into this rut that we've seen him get stuck into in the past. He obviously had that penalty claim in injury time, which it looked like he was actually kicked through the back of his leg. I don't know, was it a penalty or not? It probably would have been soft, but considering what Spurs got given tonight, then it probably would have been fair game if that penalty was given. But Jones, ineffective and non-impactful. Again, I'm going to say 4. Mohamed Salah, it has to be said, not good. I mean, the weekend he wasn't great, let's be real. But I think service was a problem at the weekend. Liverpool were not getting the ball enough up to the front three throughout that game against Manchester United. Tonight we seen Salah have more of the ball, but not really do an awful lot with it. As always, he was a threat. He put a couple of half-decent balls into the box. He never really had a massive chance himself. There was a couple of occasions where he didn't make the right decision and maybe should have passed it or laid it off. Not great, but look, he'll be back. None of our forwards really were good tonight. I'm going to say 5. Diogo Jota, delighted to see him start tonight. It's his first start, like Kostas Tsimikas, since he came back from his injury, but did very, very little. Again, I think there was more service out wide for Liverpool going forward tonight than there was through the middle. We didn't really do anything through the middle tonight. Spurs actually defended quite well centrally tonight, to be fair to them. But yeah, I mean, Jota just couldn't impact the game. He just couldn't impact the game. He was subbed early on in the second half. I still wouldn't have subbed him because he's one of those players, if he gets a chance, he'll score. But Is he fully fit yet? It's been a few weeks since he's back. I mean, you'd hope that he is, but yeah, not good tonight. 4. Cody Gakpo, definitely our best forward. He always gives 150%. We know that, like the vast majority of these players. But first half, there was a couple of moments where he did really well. He took on the defenders. He was direct. He put a couple of good balls into the box. He had a couple of shots. One effort that wasn't too far over the bar where he did his usual cut inside. Yeah, I thought he was decent. Again, I'm not sure he should have been taken off, especially with a game against Accrington Stanley at the weekend where we don't need them. Do you know what I mean? Where a full second team will be played in, and Cody Gakpo has that killer instinct that not many Liverpool forwards have. Maybe really just, well, Jota, but we haven't seen it the last few weeks, and obviously Mohamed Salah. But yeah, good. And he tried to do something. He always does, and I love that about him. You'll never see a game in where Cody Gakpo doesn't get the ball and try to make something happen, and I love that. I absolutely love that about the Dutchman. I'm going to say 6 out of 10. On to the subs. Wataru Endo came on for Gerald Kwanzaa after half an hour, and I thought he was very good. Thought he was very, very good. Wataru Endo is one of our best subs. He literally is, because whether you're sticking him at DM to see out a game with the last few minutes, or whether you're putting him at centre back in a night like tonight where we needed him there, he was very, very solid. Very, very solid. And even a couple of occasions where he had to win headers, and he's not that tall. He did, and he is exactly what you want. No nonsense. He obviously finished the game in central midfield. I thought he was decent there too. Yeah, I think one of our better players tonight. 7. Darwin Núñez. Well, look, I thought he was okay coming off the bench tonight, to be honest. He was unlucky with that chance towards the end, in which he flicked the ball back from Diaz's cross and the goalkeeper made a good save. Not much to criticise him for tonight. Did have that one chance when Salah put him through, but it was a difficult one to take. He probably should have done better with the attempt, but no, he came on. I thought he linked up well with the forwards. He did his job. I'll have to say 7. Trent, very unlucky with that shot cleared off the line. It would have been a fantastic goal from where he was. It was fantastic defending from Dragusin. Obviously the cross from Tsimikas it wasn't a bad cross, came all the way out to Trent, and he'd taken it first time. Would have been a great goal. But apart from that, his passing was 50-50, some good, some bad. Thought he would have had a little bit more of an effect on the game after coming on, especially in a game where Liverpool looked more likely to score than Spurs did. You thought maybe Trent might be able to just pick out one of those passes to unlock that Spurs defence. It didn't happen, but he wasn't bad. 6. Luis Diaz came on, threw himself about, as always, got in a couple of good positions, put one or two half-decent crosses and passes into the box. Couple of moments in where I think he should have taken it on himself, which he didn't, but not bad. I thought, again, a bit like Trent, he would have had more joy in that game, especially with the tiring Spurs defence second half, but it didn't happen. But he was okay. Again, 6. And finally, Ibu Kanate came on the last 10-15 minutes. Hate to say it, but he has to do better for the goal. I mean, he does. It's a ball over the top. He's up against Solanke. Solanke does well to shrug him off fairly. I don't think Ibu is 100% fit yet, and that is completely understandable. He was probably rushed back at the weekend against Manchester United, and I think it will be another few weeks until we see the best of Ibu. By virtue of that and that alone, I've got to say 4. The manager, Arne Slot, well, look, it's one of those, in terms of the starting team tonight, I would have liked to see Elliott in that midfield. We didn't get to see him come on. I would have liked to see Chiesa come into that game. We didn't get to see him come into the game at all, which a little bit surprised with. I didn't have too many disagreements with the starting 11. In terms of the subs, honestly, with that game at 0-0, I would have kept Cody Gakpo on the pitch. He just brings that cutting edge. Nunez, I wasn't sure about, but ended up being a half-decent sub. I would say tonight is not really on slot. Was he perfect? No. Did he make decisions in which he probably thinks he could have done better with? Yes, but it was an average performance from the players. We weren't good. We weren't fluid. We didn't deserve to lose the game, but I'm not sure if we deserved to win it either. A draw probably would have been the fair result. Arne Slot, I will say 6. So that is my Liverpool player ratings for tonight's 1-0 loss in the Carabao Cup Semi-Final. First leg against Spurs. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like, or give the video a like. Subscribe to my channel. I'm nearly at 4,500 now. Thank you for all of the support. And look, no need to panic. No need for anything. Liverpool have a second leg here. We're at home. 1 goal against Spurs is absolutely nothing. I just want the refs to be a bit better. Even a little bit. Just a bit more consistency. Please, is that too much to ask for? I'll see you at the weekend for the FA Cup and big game versus Forest next week in the Premier League. First versus third. How crazy is that? See you in the next one. Up the Reds. Keep the faith.